Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In a previous video, we have seen optical sources, in that LED and laser. Also, we have seen construction and working of LED and laser. In today's video lecture, we are going to study about photodetectors. As we know that light sources emits the light, that means they are converting electrical energy into the optical energy. They are used in the transmitter section of the communication system. Now at the receiver section, there should be a certain device which will convert the optical signal into the original electrical signal. This is achieved with the help of photodetectors. So photodetector is an optoelectronic device which absorbs an optical energy and converts it into the electrical energy. This process is called as photodetection process. Generally, it involves three steps. The first is absorption, second, transportation of charge carriers, and third, generation of photocurrent. In first step, absorption, the optical energy falling on the photodetector get absorbed by it. It means a number of photons are absorbed by the photodetector. This will cause the generation of some charge carriers. In a second process, transportation of charge carriers, the newly generated carriers gets transported across the absorption region. In some photodetector, a gain is provided to these charge carriers. In a third step, generation of photocurrent. In that, after the transportation of charge carriers, the collection of these carriers is done and the current flows through the external circuit. This current is mainly because of the photons which is falling on the photodetector. So this current is called as photocurrent. After that, before going to study the types of photodetectors, first we must know what are the different characteristics of photodetector. So the first characteristic is responsivity. This is the sensitivity of photodetector and it is defined as the ratio of detector output to the detector input. As we know that in photodetector, the output is current and the input it is in incident optical energy. So it is defined as here R is equal to detector output divided by detector input. Detector output is photocurrent and detector input is incident optical energy, which is denoted by P of INC. Second is the quantum efficiency. It is defined as the ratio of newly generated charge carriers to the number of incident photons. That is eta is equal to IPH divided by Q upon P of INC divided by H nu. Here I of pH is equal to generated photocurrent, Q is the charge of electron, P of INC is equal to total incident optical power, and H nu is the energy contained by photons. This is called as external quantum efficiency and which is denoted by eta of EXT. We can also calculate the internal efficiency of photodetector. It is defined as the ratio of number of pairs generated to the number of photons absorbed. And the value of this internal quantum efficiency is high because the internal mechanism which involves the recombination of holes and electrons, so that's why which is having high quantum efficiency value. Next is the noise equivalent power. Because of the incident light intensity, the charge carriers are generated and these charge carriers have the random motions. Thus the concentration of charge carriers get fluctuated and this will cause the fluctuations in the conductivity of the photoconductor. So the noise is generated in the photoconductors. So noise equivalent power is defined as it is incident optical power which is required to produce a signal to noise ratio of unity in a bandwidth of 1 Hz. It is also defined as the ratio of noise current to the peak radiant sensitivity, that is NEP. Next is the detectivity. The detectivity is nothing but it is a simply reciprocal of your noise equivalent power. So we can write here detectivity is equal to 1 upon NEP, and NEP is equal to noise current divided by peak radiant sensitivity. So we have to just reverse the value of NEP. It is nothing but your detectivity. When this detectivity is multiplied by square root of photoconductor area, then it is called as specific detectivity, which can be denoted as a D star. Okay. The next type of characteristic is the dark current. As we know that in a photoconductor, the light is falling on the photodetector, and this photodetector will convert that light energy into the electrical energy. But in dark current, when the light is not falling on the photodetector, then there is also some current value which is passing through that circuit. So this current under the darkness condition is called as the detector current. Okay, next is the spectral response. This is the ability of your photodetector to give response to the incident light of different wavelength, and it means that the spectral response of detector should match to the spectral curve of the light source. So totally this spectral response is the response of your input light signal. Okay, so I think these characteristics are clear to you. In a second part, we are going to study here the different types of photodiodes. In first is the conventional PN junction photodiode. Second type is the PIN photodiode, PIN photodiode, and third avalanche photodiode. So in the first, we are going to study here the conventional PN junction photodiode. In that, we are going to study the principle of operation, construction, and working of the conventional PN junction photodiode. So let us start with the principle of operation. Here in a conventional PN junction photodiode, it is operated in the reverse bias condition, and the photocurrent is flowing as if a reverse bias current is flowing in case of normal reverse bias diodes. Okay, so in principle, the incident light produces an electron hole pair in the depletion region, and second, then the separation of electron and holes takes place, and the photocurrent flows through that circuit. So this figure can give us the idea about the conventional PN junction photodiode. This will show the construction of PN junction photodiode. It consists of PN junction. This is your P and this is N region, and the reverse bias is provided as shown in figure. It consists of depletion region which is formed between P and N region. The width of this depletion region can be increased by increasing the reverse bias. As we know that in a reverse bias mode, we have to just connect the positive terminal of battery to the negative region and the negative terminal of battery to the positive region. Okay, so this upper P layer is made thin so that the maximum light rays can reach up to the depletion region. Okay, so I think this construction is clear to you. In a second, we are going to here see how it will work, that is working. Whenever the incident light is allowed to fall on the upper top pairs of this photodiode, here the depth at which photons can reach into the depletion region is dependent on the wavelength of incident light. These photons exact electron hole pair in the depletion region. Now these electron and holes are attracted towards the positive and the negative terminals of battery respectively. The electron hole pairs formed outside the depletion region gets diffused in the depletion region. This is your depletion region, and they are also contributed and photocurrent. But the maximum probability is that they are getting recombined if the depletion region is made much wider. Then the maximum number of photons comes to the depletion region, but in this case the transit time, that is the time required by the charge carriers to reach to the battery terminals, get increased. Here we can see the VI characteristics curve of the photodiode. In the darkness condition, when the light was not falling on photodiode, a very small amount of current was passing, which can be shown in this curve. This current is basically because of the reverse bias which is applied to photodiode, and the photocurrent is developed. So as the incident light intensity is increased, a photocurrent is also increased. Okay, so this is all about the PN junction diode. The second type is PIN photodiode. As the name indicates, this diode is consist an undoped intrinsic layer which is placed between the two highly doped region P plus and N plus. It gives improved performance as compared to the conventional photodiode. Let's see how it will give improved performance. In the first part we are going to study here the construction, and in second working. So the construction of this PIN photodiode is look like this. We can see in this figure. It consists of an undimmed intrinsic eye layer. This is your eye layer. The width of this layer is more than that of P plus and N plus layer. The resistivity of eye layer, which is ranges from 10 ohm per centimeter to 100 kilo ohm per centimeter. Okay, so after that we will see here how it will work. The PIN diode does not provide any gain, so that the maximum internal quantum efficiency is 100%. Now since the resistance of C layer is very high, all the reverse bias is applied across this layer. When the light is incident on this photodiode, the electron hole pairs are generated in this eye layer, and these charge carriers pairs are generated in eye layer. These charged carriers are attracted towards the respective terminal of battery. Here the N region is connected to the plus and the P region is connected to the minus. So this reverse biased PN junction here is acts as a capacitor. This is your P and this is your I N junction, and here the I layer is sandwiched between the P and N. So this P and N will act as the capacitor. Here I layer is the depletion region which acts as a dielectric material. This PIN photodiode, which is having many advantages. The first is very low reverse bias is necessary for PIN photodiode. Second, it gives high quantum efficiency. Third, a large bandwidth can be obtained with the PIN photodiode. And last, it gives lower noise performance. But this PIN photodiode, which is having again one disadvantage also. The only disadvantage is that the photodiodes doesn't give the amplification action. So in many cases an amplifier is required for this PIN photodiode. Okay. Now in the next part, here we are going to study the different noise currents in PIN photodiode. So as compared to photoresistors, the noise current in PIN photodiodes is less. it can be reduced up to a considerable extent. The different noise currents in photodiodes are: the first is photon noise, second short noise, third Johnson noise, and last generation recombination noise. In photon noise, the photon incident on the photodiode does not have the same arrival rate, so there are random fluctuations in the arrival rate, and this causes the random fluctuations in the input signal also. This will turn and creates the random fluctuation, which is called as photon noise current. Second type of noise is short noise. The ambient light where the photodiode is placed is called as background radiation. This causes some photocurrent to flow because of thermal generation of electron hole pairs in the depletion region. The dark current gives the random fluctuations in the output current, and the current produced because of this short noise is called as short noise current, which is given by I short is equal to under root of 2q id into b, where q is equal to charge of electron which having value 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. id is the dark current and b is nothing but bandwidth in hertz. Third type of noise is Johnson noise. Under the thermal equilibrium, the charge carriers have the random motions, and the noise current is produced by these random motions, which is called as Johnson noise current, which is given by I thermal is equal to under root of 4 kTb divided by R of T, where K is equal to Boltzmann's constant, which is having value 8.62 into 10 raised to minus 5, or it is 1.38 into 10 raised to minus 23 in joule per Kelvin. T is the temperature in Kelvin, where 1 Kelvin is equal to 273 degree per Celsius. B is equal to bandwidth in hertz, and RT is the total resistance. That means resistance from source and resistance of load. And last, generation recombination noise. The fluctuations caused because of variations in the combination rate of charged particles produces the generation recombination noise. This is generally very small. The total noise current is given by I total noise is equal to under root of current due to thermal square plus current due to short noise bracket square, that is equal to, here signal to noise ratio is equal to signal current to the noise current. These are the noise currents in pin photodiodes. The symbol of photodiode is similar to that of LED, but the arrows points here in photodiodes are inwards, and in LED they are upwards. Okay. Photodiode operates in three different modes, namely photovoltaic mode, photoconductive mode, and avalanche diode mode. In first photovoltaic mode, it is also called as zero bias mode. When a photodiode operates at a low frequency application and ultra level light applications, this mode can be preferred. When photodiode is irradiated by flash of light, voltage is produced, and the voltage produced will be in very small dynamic range, and it has a non-linear characteristics. When photodiode is configured with op-amp in this mode, there will be a very less variation with the temperature. So in this figure we can see the photovoltaic mode. Second is the photoconductive mode. In this mode, photodiode will act in a reverse bias condition. Cathode will be positive and anode will be negative. When the reverse voltage increases, the width of depletion layer is also increases. Due to this, the response time and the junction capacitance will be reduced, and comparatively this mode of operation is fast and produces electronic noise. The transimpedance amplifiers are used as preamplifiers for photodiodes. Modes of such amplifiers keep the voltage maintained to be constant to make photodiode operate in the photoconductive mode. Third mode is avalanche diode mode. In this mode, avalanche diode operates at a high reverse bias condition. It allows multiplication of an avalanche breakdown to each photo, which produce electron hole pair. Hence, this produces internal gain within photodiode, and the internal gain increases the device response also. So in this video we have seen all about photodetector, construction, working principle, types of modes and its types. Okay, so in the next lecture we will see the avalanche photodiode in detail with its advantages and disadvantages, and after that here we are going to end our today's session with a motivational quote, and today's motivational quote for you is: the pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity, the optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. So stay positive, be focused on your work, give 100% to your work. Thank you.